you go to Philadelphia and play who a lot of people think is the team that will represent the NFC again in the Super Bowl. True measuring stick right there. Are you feeling a little uneasy, or are you like, nah, we learned our lesson from the Buffalo Bills? Go on the road, be physical.
That's a tough one because it depends.
That's a night game too.
It's a night game, so everybody's gonna want to show out. All eyes will be on this game. There's a probably they're gonna hype it up as a possible Super Bowl preview. It all depends on injuries. Philadelphia has a couple of injuries that they're dealing with. Cornerback Slay is out for the game against the Jets, and their Jalen Carter, their first round draft pick, who's just been a beast, he's out. So if Slay is missing in that game against the Dolphins,
that's gonna be tough.
That's going to be tough for the Eagles because they need their cornerbacks to go against those receivers that the Dolphins have. And if Carter misses that game, that's great for the offensive line because I think Tua will be probably under the most pressure he's been this season.
Yes.
So that's the key for me in that game. I'm going to go with Philadelphia because they're the home team, but I'm not shocked if the Dolphins win that game. I'm not.
A little uneasy in the game. Philadelphia's got great pedigree. They've won big games. They're at home. It's at night. Home field advantage. That one makes me really uneasy. I would not be upset if the Dolphins lost the game as long as they did a good showing. I'll be happy with it. But you win one, that's a bonus. Next week, you go to, the New England Patriots come here. We have seen what the Patriots are.
Beat down, epic proportions.
More than 7 points. I'll say that.
Beat down.
I mean, the Saints went in there and offered them. Goodness gracious, the Patriots are bad.
I am so upset at my Jets because the Patriots should be 0-5 right now, and they have nothing offensively. If this is a game where the defense,
oh yeah, that's right, they don't have a quarterback anymore.
Listen, they're one. Mac Jones is one bad quarter away from Bailey Zappi being the quarterback.
They pulled him in the past.
My only
games,
fear is right now. This is my only fear. That the Patriots just stink up for the rest of the season. They end up in the getting a number 1 pick in Caleb Williams, and that's gonna be scary. That can be scary. But with that being said, I really, really like. Ooh, that's a nasty throw. I really like the Dolphins whooping the Patriots' ass. And what will be what's gonna be good is that if you realize a lot of the Dolphins wins at home has been beatdowns.
Yeah, they have. So that has been one of the things.
And a lot of the games they play a lot of late games later in the season at home. So that can, if the Dolphins start establishing a home field dominance, that's going to be very key because you don't want to be coming to Miami in January and in the postseason. So they should be. That's why I think a game like that against New England, you could whoop that ass really well and start establishing a home field dominance.
Then you go as far away as you possibly can. You go to Frankfurt, Germany to play the Chiefs November 5th, 9:30 a.m. I'll be honest with you, that game does not scare me.
No, Dolphins can win that game easily.
That one easy. Chiefs had their issues.
And really, it's not a home game. It's a neutral site game.
Right.
I won't be shocked, depending on how the Dolphins leading up to that game, how they look. If the Dolphins dominate like New England, and somehow beat Philadelphia, if they beat Philadelphia on the road, I wouldn't be shocked the Dolphins are favored against Kansas City in that game.
That definitely could be.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Not be shocked at all. I mean, if you've beaten the Eagles and you whip up on the Patriots, and Kansas City continues to barely just kind of get by people.
If the Chiefs are a 3.5 point favorite or 4, I'm putting money on the Dolphins.
Go for it.
And the revenge game for Tyreek will play a lot. I think that's a 50-50 game.
Following that, Dolphins, Raiders. This one does have me a little bit scared.
Scared for what?
The Raiders aren't that good, but they aren't that bad. They're always close in games.
Man.
Even though it's here in Miami, I feel as though the Raiders keep it close.
Yeah.
Miami finds a way to win. Maybe a Jason Sanders field goal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, Dolphins are gonna whoop the Raiders' ass.
Okay. You'll see.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go out with Jimmy G that night. We're gonna go out to Tootsie's and all of them. Jimmy G's not gonna make it to the game by that night.
I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Raiders, man.
Porno Jimmy is not gonna make it he's not gonna be able to make it. Come on, this is Miami. You don't think Porno Jimmy's going out that Saturday night? It's over. Looking at their home schedule, Dolphins are gonna win every game by double digits at home.
Speaking of a whooping,
except for the last game of the season where they play Buffalo.
Speaking of a whooping, November 24th at the Jets. That is Black Friday.
I am gonna have to be honest. As of right now, the Dolphins would be favoring that game. I'm rooting for my team, depending on how we look. But if we're going right now, Dolphins, that's a winnable. That's not even they will be favored.
Should be.
They will be favored.
Depending that this plays out the way we kind of see. The kind of upstart Commanders, a little better than we initially thought. Happy for Airbnb.
No. That's at home or that's on the road?
You get them in Washington in the DMV.
What that would be 9 days off coming back after the Black Friday. Yeah,
gotta win that.
Yeah, you're winning that.
You got to win that. Airbnb and the offense might make it kind of interesting, but you got to win that.
You're winning that.
Titans
Monday night, right?
Dolphins Monday night right here, Hard Rock Stadium. You can't get rid of Tannehill. He just always finds a way to start. Is it a revenge game for him? Do the Dolphins just take care of business?
Have you seen Ryan Tannehill play football?
He's very mediocre.
Okay, we might be seeing that kid, Will Lutz. Ooh. Is that Lutz? That's his name? That was the kid from last year that can from Kentucky.
Oh yeah, the Mayo guy.
Yeah, the Mayo guy.
Tannehill just keeps finding ways.
Dolphins double digit.
Okay, big win. I see them winning. Never an easy game, especially late in the season.
Double digit.
Now you get the Dolphins and the Jets again, December 17th, right here in South Florida. It's going to be tough, but I still think the Dolphins, they get the 1-2 punch on the Jets this season. 1-2 punch. I mean, with Zach Wilson. As
I don't know. I can't. I got to be honest. I know I'm very happy with the way Zach's been playing, but going into that game, that's it. It's got to be sustainable. That's what I'm saying. That when you're talking about the Dolphins and Jet games, I got them going with the Dolphins because they've looked like the better team.
Yeah,
and they've got the better offense. And the way the Jets playing right now is all right. But I got to see if it, like you said, it's sustainable. But I'm not gonna be a crazy fan and say like going home. I would love a split between the Dolphins and the Jets, but yeah, I can see the Dolphins. Dolphins will be definitely favored in this home game. So yeah, that's a win.
How about Christmas Eve Cowboys? 425.
I definitely see Dolphins put in some work, but
it's easy to put on the Cowboys sometimes.
No. It all depends. By that time, Teron Armstead should be back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
you should have Jalen Ramsey back too,
and Jalen Ramsey can be back. But you definitely need Teron Armstead back healthy to go against that Cowboys front four. But I see if they give Tua protection, I could see those boys getting some yards on that Dallas defense. The defense should be able to eat off Dak.
Should be, but Dallas is one of those weird teams. Like right when you think they're done, they find some way to win a big game, and everybody gets excited, and they lose a dunderheaded game. So I'm gonna throw that as a toss-up right now. It's too far out. It's Christmas Eve. There's too many variables.
I'm not impressed by the Cowboys. That's a winnable game.
I'm not unimpressed. I'm just not overly impressed. Dolphins, Ravens, New Year's Eve. That is in Baltimore. That is an interesting game because Ravens, once again, one of those teams that I don't know. Sometimes I think they're good. Sometimes I think they're one of the worst teams in the league.
That's a flip them. We all know how crazy those games are when Miami goes to Baltimore.
Right. And now you bring it up. What it's all going to come down to, it's inevitable, right? Final game of the year, January 7th, basically for the AFC East. You get the Bills at Hard Rock Stadium. Bills better be ready. That's all I got to say. I can't say who's going to win or lose, but the Bills better be ready because we're not making the same mistakes twice.
It all depends on health, who's coming back,
right?
Who'll be healthy at that time.
We're doing all these projections that all these teams stay relatively NFL healthy. Of course, a major injury to any one of these teams, as you know, Vlad, can cost you a lot of games if your quarterback or somebody important goes down. But man, it really just seems like it's coming to the end of the season. Are the Bills still the dominant team that beat you twice in the season? Or do you get revenge in that last game, in the game that counts more? Wow, what a game it is going to be. Hopefully. Going through the projections, pretty good to be a Dolphins fan right now. That is pretty good stuff right there. Of course, it all depends on Tua Tagovailoa being healthy, Tyreek Hill being healthy, Jalen Waddle, Teron Armstead possibly come back, Jalen Ramsey being back. Eli Apple has looked a little kind of, am I true with that assessment? But enough to win. Defense has been good. Going against some mediocre teams, but the schedule's about to get really, really tough because after the Panthers, which should be an easier game, Eagles, Patriots, say what you want about the Patriots sucking. They're still in your division. Chiefs, I think the Raiders throw more of a fight. You got Jets, Commanders, Titans, Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. This is it. This is why you play those games, Vlad. Not an easy road to hoe, but you know what? If you're going to be a good team, you got to go down that road and get your W's.
They got to play. They got to play these games.
Might slip up here once or twice here and there. It happens. No, you notice we always get upset. You always say at the beginning of the season, you know you're going to slip up one of these games, but when it happens, you get upset. It's like, well, you kind of knew it was going to happen.